Making fun.
Okay, so since I was about like 4 years old when my grandfather died, I've had a little tiny incy-weensy obsession with cemeteries. That is the first time I remember being in a cemetery, was at my grandfather's funeral, and I just remember being completely fascinated by it. And ever since then, I love visiting cemeteries. Last year, for Halloween, I made a cemeterium, and I made it in a bell jar or a cloche jar, and it was a little mound and a hill. And so I don't have access to that this year. I decided I'm going to remake one this year. I got this lantern. It's real metal, real glass. What I also have for this project is a bunch of these Spooky Town headstones, and then I got some of these wire lights, and then I have some moss. Those are the basics of what I'm going to be working with. My plan is I want to have a tree in here. Nerdforge has a similar video where she made a tree and then put some of the little ghost-like characters from Princess Mononoke in it. So the tree is the first thing I have to build because I can't take the glass out of this. I have to build a tree that can go in and out of this door. By chance you're wondering why I'm not filming in the garage in my crafting space, this is what the sky looks like outside right now. That is smoke. The air is not breathable here. Yeah, so I am not gonna hang out in the garage. Also, if you're wondering why you're hearing a bunch of fan sounds, it's too hot to turn them off because life is generally unpleasant right now. And we're just trying to make the best of it. Just gonna cut it there. Yeah, I'm happy with this so far. This weird shape that I'm making. And then I'm gonna do the same down here. Be very careful if you do this because I have almost stabbed myself in the eye multiple times. And a good reminder to wear eye protection. I like the way this is looking. It's still weird, but I don't hate it. So now I'm gonna cover it in tinfoil, I guess.
This is the first time I've ever used the blocking out with tinfoil method when working with polymer clay, and I must say it is a much faster, cheaper, and lighter weight option.
This is the tree so far, all tinfoily and weird looking. And I also went ahead and made a tinfoil ball base.
On to the clay. The first thing I did was cover up the base of the tree so that I could bake that beforehand. And then I just started blocking it out, covering it up with clay, trying to hide all of the tinfoil as efficiently as possible. And then I showed it to the camera because I still can't seem to figure out how to film when I'm working with my hands because everything keeps going in and out of focus. So, yeah.
I'm gonna do a preliminary bake on this before I actually start adding detail. But I want some more spindly branches, not just these thick ones. So I've started wrapping small pieces of wire and putting them into the clay so that I can bake them into place before I continue on. So I'm making like a branch like this that has, you know, some different detail, and then I'm standing my tree up first, and then I'm gonna find a spot for it. I think you can't really see where I'm sinking it in, but I'm sinking it in right here. I'm just covering it up with a little bit of the soft clay, and when I do my second pass of clay, I will cover it up again. Put that there. Squish it into the clay, and then I'm just gonna kind of cover it along the back. Like that. Spooky tree. It fits in, and it's cooked. So now we just add details.
So then I covered up all of those branches that I made with very thin bits of clay by making clay snakes and then trying to spin them nicely over the branches. and then smoothing them out as best I can. This was my attempt to make the tree look as real as possible and less like it's made out of sausages, which I kind of failed at, but I'll take it. I also made some smaller branches just by making little snakes of clay that could support their own weight and attaching them as best I could. And then I went around with my smoothing tool and kind of squished down all of the seams that didn't look like a tree and roughed up bits to make it look more like bark, because we're going for realism here, folks, right? Right. So then I stuck the base into the lantern and got out my air dry clay and then molded the air dry clay along the bottom in order to hold the base into place, because obviously I could not throw the whole lantern into the oven, so this was the best solution that presented itself. And then I painted the tree once it was all dry and ready, a nice lovely shade of brown. The reason my mouth is moving so much is because I'm talking to my friend Kat on the phone. Everybody say hi to Kat in the comments. Maybe she'll say hi back. There is the tree, all brown and sausagey. It's not the best looking tree in the world, but it's the best looking tree I ever made. Then I took out my wreath that I bought so that I could have some tiny leaves, and I pulled the smallest leaves possible off of the wreath. Then I hot glued them into place using some tweezers and this random pokey tool that I found. And then I did that over and over again for the next several hours until I completely lost my mind and all sense of time and space. Not gonna lie, I watched so many episodes of Death in Paradise while filming this. And here's the tree! It kinda looks like a tree. I don't know. You guys can be the judge of whether or not it looks real or fake, but I did my best, and I'm proud of it. So that's all that matters. All right, then once the base was dry, I painted that a lovely shade of brown again. Woo! Isn't that exciting? Here are the lights that I used, showing off some of their settings. Isn't that pretty? Then I command stripped the battery pack to the ceiling of the lantern, which did not work, so I don't recommend doing that. Then I hot glued all of these lovely little string of lights into place, which was an arduous process, and it looked like a disaster when I was done. But that didn't matter because the next part was covering it all up with moss. And yes, I did have to film it with the lights on because I needed to not cover up the lights with moss. And also, yeah, it's, again, really hard to film shots with your hands going back and forth constantly because it really pulls focus. Then I cemented the tree in place. And there's a nice shot without the lights on. Then I placed gently all of my tombstones, trying to decide where I wanted them to hang out. I don't know why I put so much thought into that, but there you go. And then I turned on the lights because I remembered I wanted the lights to actually shine up on the tombstones, so I made sure that that worked before I glued them into place. Again, just using hot glue. That is what this entire project is held together with. And here are the lovely final shots. Yes, my creepy little cemetery, because I'm that person. Isn't it cute and creepy? And there it is with the lights on. This is a daytime shot, so you can get the idea of what the lights look like, because when it's dark, all you see is purple. My favorite part is all these lights underneath the tree roots, and I wish I'd concentrated them up there more to give it more of a spooky, haunted look. But overall, I'm really pleased with how this came out. It's a little strange, but so am I, and it works for me. When you can't find a cemetery to hang out in, just build your own, right, guys? Right.
Piece of broken glass in there. That's excellent. That's a good start. Sure, yeah, trees are interesting. Oh, really. That is my wise words for the day. Trees are interesting. So, why they sell this armature wire in slinky form, I'm not sure, but here we go. Moving the camera to hide the mess, 'cause I'm too lazy to clean. Oh yeah, editing to you, I hope you're enjoying this sound. I'm not.